Chapter 3 Three Duels D'Artagnan was in a rage as he bounded down the stairs. He didn't notice the Musketeer on the landing until he ran headlong into him. "Excuse me," said D'Artagnan, trying to get by. "I'm in a hurry." "Just because you are in a hurry," said the Musketeer, blocking his way, "is no reason for you to run into me." "My God!" cried D'Artagnan, recognizing Athos. "I did not hit against your wound on purpose. Now please let me pass." "I find you quite impolite," said Athos. "Well, you are hardly one to give me a lesson in manners." "Then perhaps a lesson in dueling." "I am ready to fight you. Tell me where." "Behind the Carmelite convent at noon." D'Artagnan nodded and rushed down the stairs, and into the courtyard. At the gate to the street stood Porthos and a guard. There seemed to be just enough room between the two men for D'Artagnan to pass through, so he darted into that opening. But at that moment a gust of wind caught the edge of Porthos's cloak and blew it across the opening. D'Artagnan found himself trapped inside the folds of the cloak. "Good Lord!" cried Porthos. "Are you a madman, running into people like this?" "Excuse me, sir," said D'Artagnan, gazing up at the giant. "I am in a great hurry." "And do you forget your eyes when you run? You deserve to be punished for this." "Punished, monsieur!" cried D'Artagnan. "And who exactly is going to punish me?" "I, monsieur," cried Porthos, "at 1 o'clock behind the Luxembourg Gardens." "Very well," said D'Artagnan, as he rushed into the street. He looked around. There was no sign of the stranger in any direction. He ran in and then out of the side streets for over an hour, then finally gave up the chase. "Ah, what a crack-brained idiot I am!" he muttered to himself as he walked. "I've been in Paris only 3 hours, and already I've made a bad impression on Monsieur de Tréville, and I've set up 2 duels with the Musketeers who could easily kill me. If I somehow survive these duels, I must remember to be more polite in the future." At that moment he looked up and saw Aramis talking to 3 guards at the courtyard gate. D'Artagnan would not have dreamed of interrupting them if he had not seen Aramis drop his handkerchief and step on it. Wishing to be of help, D'Artagnan rushed up to him, bent down, and pulled the handkerchief out from under his foot. He held it out to Aramis, and, in his most polite voice, said, "I believe, sir, that you have lost your handkerchief." Aramis turned red and grabbed the lace cloth from D'Artagnan's hand. The scent of its perfume reached the guards. "Aha, Aramis!" cried one of the guards. "A lace handkerchief embroidered with a crown, a gift from one of the Queen's ladies-in-waiting, no doubt. Tell us about her." Realizing that he had embarrassed Aramis, D'Artagnan tried to apologize. "I hope you will excuse me, sir." "Excuse you!" cried Aramis. "Any fool should know that a gentleman doesn't step on a lady's handkerchief unless he's hiding it." "A fool, you say?" shouted D'Artagnan. "I did try to apologize, sir." "There is only one way to apologize for such an insult," said Aramis. "My sword will be ready at 2 o'clock behind the church." "And so will mine," said D'Artagnan. It was almost noon, and he hurried to keep his appointment with Athos. "Well," he thought, "if I am to be killed today, at least it will be by a Musketeer." When D'Artagnan reached the bare plot of land behind the convent, he found Athos already there waiting. They greeted each other, and Athos said that his seconds would be arriving at any moment. "I have no seconds, sir," said D'Artagnan. "No one to witness the duel for me, for only I arrived in Paris this morning, and I know no one. But I shall be honored to cross swords with a brave Musketeer who fights even though his wounds pain him." "It does hurt like the devil," said Athos. "Perhaps, then, you will accept a salve I brought from Gascony. My mother makes it herself, and it heals any wound in 2 days." "That is very kind of you," said Athos, with a smile and a bow. "I have the feeling that if we don't kill each other in this duel, we shall become good friends. Ah, here come my seconds now." D'Artagnan turned and saw 2 Musketeers approaching. "Your seconds are Porthos and Aramis?" he cried. "Why, yes," said Athos. "We are never seen one without the other. All Paris knows us as the 3 Musketeers. Our motto is one for all and all for one." "What is he doing here?" cried Porthos as he came closer and saw D'Artagnan. "This is the gentleman I am to duel," said Athos. "But I am to fight him too!" cried Porthos. "And I as well," added Aramis. "Then, Monsieur Athos," said D'Artagnan, "let us begin. I do not wish to keep my other worthy opponents waiting." The 2 men drew their swords, but hardly had the swords clicked twice than a group of cardinal's guards turned the corner. "Sheathe your swords, quickly!" called Porthos. "They will try to enforce the cardinal's order against dueling." But it was too late. The guards approached and ordered them under arrest. "There are 5 of them," said Athos quietly, "and we are only 3. But I would rather die here than face Monsieur de Tréville defeated by the guards again." "Gentlemen," interrupted D'Artagnan. "You are not three, we are four. I may not wear the uniform of a musketeer, but I have the heart of one." "Well, then," cried Athos, "forward!" "One for all for one!" they shouted together, as they lunged at the cardinal's guards. D'Artagnan fought like a tiger, proud to be dueling alongside the brave Musketeers. Within minutes they had killed four of the guards and wounded the fifth. "That is enough," said Athos. "Let us help this wounded man to the steps of the convent, and then be on our way." The three Musketeers took D'Artagnan's arm, and together they walked along, taking up the whole width of the street. They greeted every Musketeer they met along the way, with shouts of "One for all for one!" and introduced their new friend. This was a victory march that filled D'Artagnan's heart with joy. He was on his way to becoming a king's Musketeer.